Welcome to the Investment Process Channel. I am C3 Christopher Camo, this channel where we teach people how to create generational wealth through trading. Let's get into getting to week 13. We're gonna go over our weekly market strategy for S&P and NASDAQ. Let's get into this week's prediction. Here we are on S&P. Your numbers may be different. I trade futures, and this is the CME symbol for the S&P. Chicago Mercantile Exchange, if you don't know what CME is. So here, Friday had a huge bullish candle. Friday sell off. Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. But this past Friday was similar to some previous Fridays. See the on the 21st, we had a bullish candle for Friday. So try to make a retracement, and it did last week. First day had a candle with equal lows, and it retested that support, broke through on Thursday, and then Friday sold off right down here to this equal low here, which is telling me it may go further tomorrow. Tomorrow on the 31st, the last day of the month. So let's take an overall look at where we at the end of the month and the beginning of next month. So we have a very bearish candle for the month of March. Looking at support right here around 55, 85, 75. Price came right back into this area. What we were looking at before on the daily, where there was a candle with equal lows. So it had high potential to come back to that area at some point, and this month it made it back down to that area. Let's go here, take a look at the weekly and see potentially why price action took that move. And again, here we see here approximately 2 or 3 weeks ago, S&P came back to support right here, where this candle pretty much had an equal low as well. Tapped into that support, and it came right back down to it. And looking at what we saw previously on that daily, that was why it had unfinished business. The market had unfinished business and came right back into that area. So we're gonna mark off this area here for this week. You know, I like to use colors to represent certain time frames on the charts, and yellow being my weekly color. So for me, that reminds me that, hey, this portion of the market here where price action was left the area on the weekly time frame. Instead of just having a box or a line that's red, having a color gives me information at a glance. And if you have something on your chart, it should mean something. So don't have a bunch of stuff on your chart that you don't need. As you see with most of my trading plans, my charts are very simple. I don't have a lot of moving averages, you know, Fibonacci sequences. I don't have a bunch of that. Mainly what I talk about is time frames and price action. That's it. Talk about those two things. Those are the only two things that are consistent across every chart. That's all I talk about. So anyway, back to S&P. We have a imbalance on a weekly here. It looks like it came back and tapped right back into that equal low on the weekly. And again, overall, the month is bearish. I don't see it turning around. Now, will it come back to this area and potentially continue down? Let's go ahead and drop down to the daily. Right now, I don't see any imbalances or equal lows on the daily, other than the one that this past Friday tried to tap into that happened over here on the 14th of this month. So the likelihood that we'll probably get support and then price will turn around is highly likely. And you see we have this weekly imbalance here for price to come back to. Then we also have a daily imbalance all the way up here. The price could potentially come back to. Will it come back to it next week? Who knows? At some point, it may come back up here, tap into this, depending on how price action happens this week. So on a shorter time frame, on this daily, we're looking at these imbalances here. We have a daily imbalance here. Not until market open will we find out what the imbalance is for this candle from Friday. However, we have potential for price to come all the way back up here to 57.20. We'll see when price, when the market opens, what price is looking like. We took out this weekly low, daily low, equal lows. Just looking to clean this up and then for price to continue back up. So we're going to set a level here of support. So looking for some price to have support around 55.78. May just see a tap and go back in the bullish direction. It may kind of hover around here at the beginning of the month, end of March, beginning of April. It might hover around here for a minute and kind of consolidate before going back in this direction here. And again, we have this weekly imbalance, daily imbalance to clean up. So you have a highly likely that price action will return back to these areas probably within a week. So looking at how price has been traveling, let's take a look here. See how price has been traveling with this range here. So even with price being here, opening, you see price could potentially come back to that weekly imbalance within a week, within a few days. Just looking at our range over the past couple weeks. Price took out this high, this lower high here, set up this new range. And yeah, if we just take a look at where price is now, highly likely that price can come back into that weekly imbalance within the week. So that's our trading plan for S&P. Let's go over here to gold. Okay, so here we are with gold. As you can see, we had it marked off. This is our daily chart. As you see, we had it marked off 3101 was our target last week. And gold pushed right past through that. Overall, you see gold has been very, very bullish. We have some imbalances left from Thursday and Friday's price action. Had a gap up on Friday. And you see gold is leaving a lot of imbalances behind. Right now, the train has left the station. If you're getting positions, let's see where, actually there's a few spots here. Right here, 30.66. And then also here, we see price coming right back to 3101. You see price rejected right from that area where we had it at last week. I believe this has been, we had this here like 2 weeks ago. You see price got resistance right here at 3101. And the next day it just gapped up. It gapped up. It was like, we're taking that out. That's no longer an issue. So wait to see how the market opens. We can see price come back right down to 3101 for support. and then continue up. That's pretty much what you'll be looking for if you're trying to look for an entry. Otherwise, I would wait for price to come all the way back here to 30.66.5. Let's go ahead and take a look at it on larger time frame to make sure that that's a good plan. Let's start with our monthly. So overall for our monthly, super bullish. Gonna put price action here for our monthly, where price can potentially come back to the top of this candle here, where we get support, which is the high of. We'll look at price action around 30.039, and price can pull back into this area. As we see, gold has been very efficient on the monthly as far as not leaving any imbalances behind during its surges. So being that this is the end of the month, can you get a short back down to this area? Yes. I would be careful because price is not guaranteed to come all the way back here. Again, gold has been efficient with cleaning up its imbalances. Take a look back. Have one down here, March of last year. So it may just continue up. It's the end of March here. So you see price gapped up last year in March and just kept going. So gold is at an all-time high. Again, weekly. So definitely we're looking for support right around here, about 31.01. Highly likely that price can just pull back into that area on Monday and then continue up. Let's see when the market opens what it looks like. Then we have all the way down here another imbalance where our monthly is, and again, that's why we mark this stuff off. Just above the 50% mark. So again, this is the weekly. I would want price to come all the way back into this area to get a nice buy for the upside. That range right there would be really nice. Even to come back to 31.01. That's a nice range right there. So see, it took about 3 weeks to get there. Who knows? So overall, again, bullish. And even looking at our weekly, here's our daily. Let me just clone this. If I take this here, price is now right here. So with this imbalance, you see price could just tap back into this area here at 30.66.9 or 30.67, and just continue up from where it is right now. We got that gap that needs to be cleaned up. Then also a imbalance on the daily. So price is highly likely to come back to this area and continue up. Will it come all the way back down here? This would be the best play to get a buy. However, go ahead and look at 30.67 for an entry to be looking for buys. And again, overall, gold has been bullish. It has everybody's attention. So the buys probably are not going to stop at this point. So when the market corrects, just have your stops in place. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin, and then we'll end for the week. Bitcoin. So you see our previous level, 89,230. It came right back into that area. And at the open of last week, came right to that area, touched it, and you see it kind of sold off from there. Got an equal high here for price to come back to. I don't think Bitcoin is done selling off. You can try to get um, some you can try to get some sales from this area here, 87,275. I would just be kind of careful. Again, Bitcoin is showing you, hey, we have some unfinished business down here we need to take care of over here on the left. Back in November, and it's been tapping into that area several times. It's once, twice. I'll tell you three times a lady. I would really be looking for buys down in this area. Right now, I would not be trying to get any buys, and this is on a daily. Our monthly is really showing us why price is doing it. Let's take a look. So on our monthly, we see we had an imbalance here around 78,405. I moved it down to 74,210. We'll see in a second on the weekly, but overall, that's why you see price. It literally just touched the 78,270, touched it. And again, I don't think that looking at that weekly, prices, Bitcoin is done selling off for you guys to get positioned for the upside. Let's take a look at that weekly. So here it is on our daily again. Those monthly targets that we had set, they were only backed up by our daily chart and our weekly chart. So again, price on the weekly tapped into that area once, cleaned up this gap, but it's kind of been hovering around this gap. That's the reason why I said I don't think it's done selling off. You see we got that rejection at 89,230 on the weekly. That's why we have that. I'll go ahead and change that color here to yellow. That's why we had that rejection from that area from last week. And we saw on the daily, it came right back into this imbalance, right? Excuse me, this resistance on the daily, and then rejected from that area, from price being in that area. Again, don't think it's done selling off. Got dang near a equal high here with this candle, and still have this imbalance down here on this daily. It's been hovering around this these imbalances and this gap right here, kind of consolidating. Take a look at this is the range. This daily. Yep. Price just kind of been consolidating this range right here. And it's hovering right around this 50% mark. So price right now is at a discount. I would like to see it at a further discount before getting any buys. We have another equal low here. Just cleaned up this equal low on Friday. And we still have this imbalance. It doesn't have to clean up the whole imbalance. I would just like it to see it come back into this area before looking for any buys. If you got buys down here, you're doing good. Just protect your position. Again, we have 1, 2 areas of equal lows for on the daily. So protect your position. I don't think it's done selling off, be honest with you. So this is our trading plan for week 13. This was our weekly market strategy for S&P and the NASDAQ. Our predictions for the week. And we also took a look at Bitcoin. You guys have a great trading week. Again, this is the Investment Process Channel.